how do you deal with the poor judgment that people have over your struggle and your fight, because they're not just curious enough to understand and ask you questions, because I'm pretty sure they would probably admire you more than judge you the way they do.
Well, I've burned a lot of bridges. Let's just say that. And I guess in a sense, I'm the boy who cried wolf in it, like literally. And it's just like to the point where I'm still at the beginning of it all, and it's just it's to the point where, oh, here we go again. Benson did this, Benson, because it's a cycle. It's a repeating. So it's a revolving door. It doesn't seem to end. So in regards to the judgment and stuff like that, it's just it doesn't it's not it's just it's there, but it's not really said anymore. Because it's already all been said a dozen times, a million times, but it's still there, and it'll be there for a long time. I mean, until you, I don't know how long I don't know the number on how long you have to be clean for it to not be there.
Do you feel it even when they don't say anything to you, when
Yeah,
they look at you? How how
yeah.
how inconvenient is that?
I guess it comes down to an insecurity of myself, maybe. Um, but new people meeting new people, I don't think they know uh, the extent of my drug use and what I've actually been through. I don't think they've actually know. Old people and old relationships, they're just over it. Um, yeah,
But that's a good part too. Of like okay, so you have the real ones, right? That know the story, the origin stories, and then you have like the new friends that you're supposed to meet that are
yeah,
going to even pull you through to further race, to further purposes, to further things like that. So it's like it's a give and take. It's that balance of like, okay, you got there's people that already put the spear around me and they're seeing me for what I was, but not what I am. All right. And they only see who I am from me just presenting myself more and more, right? And then this your skin gets harder where it's like their judgments that don't really mean too much after more. And then you meet your new friends that are gonna
Yeah.
tell gonna pull you upwards. They're gonna be like, oh wow, and they're gonna push more. They're gonna give you a new light of yourself. They're not gonna put on that old light, the repetitive. Oh, Benson is this, Benson is that. They're gonna be like, oh, Benson is this, Benson is that. It's a whole different thing, and it's gonna be that
yeah,
cycle, like that old and new, old and new.
You know what?
yeah,
What's funny is that also, like for example, we are in our behavior, we are imperfect, and we normally will always judge before anything, or we have a perception before and a hypothesis. Even before we even jump into a theory, we never even investigate to do an hypothesis, right? And it's funny because I'm trying to put myself on Benson's shoes, and every time somebody that knows him sees him, hasn't walked one day in his shoes, not once, but perhaps
mm,
has a big list of things that they have in mind about him. But then, and these are imperfect beings that also commit their own sins and their own mistakes in life. It's just they're not as known as Benson. But then on the other hand, Benson goes to God, and God, all he says, I love you. The
mm,
difference about the behavior of a perfect being welcoming you, telling you that he loves you no matter what you do, because it's not about how much love you have for him. God has unconditional love for you. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. God's love is infinite. Now try to imagine infinity. You can't. You never
mm,
seen it because we're limited. So there's a difference between the behavior of love between the love people give, which is very limited and comes with a lot of judgmentalism, then you go to the other side, a perfect being that never sinned, tells you you're welcome here. As a matter of fact, where you're weak, I'm going to make you strong. It's not because he's going to, make you muscular. No, he's going to be present with you in those moments. And,
Yeah.
and my question to you is, when you go to that other side, that side where God tells you and welcomes you, what is the first thing you say to yourself when you go there?
Um, why? I think why. Um, yeah, I think why, because you're in that moment of your worst times, and you're like, what have I done? Why? And he God answers in his way of bringing you out of that, and reassuring you. So I think the answer to that is why. Um, I mean, there could be a lot of answers, really. But
Well,
I
that's
think for
that's a
me,
good that's a good way of thinking it. That's a good way of thinking it, because like, why me? But then,
yeah,
also God said, why not you? Like,
yeah,
because at the end, it's not how you start, it's how you end.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
Yeah, definitely.